Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. So today I'm going to be going over 5 reasons why you should be doing minimalist training, or 5 benefits to a minimalist style of programming. So I'm going to tell you how this sort of style of training is going to fit into your lifestyle better. It's going to allow you to build muscle and to get stronger faster, and it's going to allow you to really dial down and focus on key aspects of your training. Before we get into that though, if you're new here, my name is Lee. This channel has everything to do with bodyweight fitness and calisthenics. So if you want to be a part of the community that I'm trying to build here, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. If you want to get notified of every single time I upload, make sure you hit that bell icon and turn notifications on. If you find this video useful, please give it a thumbs up. It does really help the channel to grow. If you know anyone who this would interest, please give it a share. And if you have any questions that this video did not answer, or you want to create a discussion, please use the comment section down below. With that out of the way, let's get into the video. So I'm going to be going over 5 reasons why you should get into minimalist training. These things are in no particular order, but I do feel that all of them are important, but they do have benefits that are going to reach more people and be more important to different people for different reasons. So make sure you stick to the end of the video, because I'm going to be going over sort of my minimalist sort of style program and sort of giving you a quick brief of why I've picked those particular exercises and why I have that sort of structure. So let's get into the 5 reasons. So the first thing we're going to be looking at is your program is going to be very streamlined and it's going to be very focused. And the reason why this is important is it allows you to get rid of all of those useless exercises and to focus on key ones. So this is very, very important. It's something that is very, very common if people go to the gym and they typically pick up a bodybuilding program, or they do a body part split sort of style of program where they have 6 or 7 different exercises just to hit one particular muscle group, or they'll have 3 or 4 different exercises to hit the same movement plane. So for example, you'll have someone that will do a light bench press, then they might do a dumbbell press, and then they finish off with maybe like a chest press, the machine version. So they're doing the same exercise 3 times in a different way, and it's not needed. If you hit the bench press sufficiently, you won't need the other exercises. So this is what's great about a minimalist sort of style of program, is it allows you to focus on key exercises, because you have to be very, very focused on, okay, I want to work for a particular goal, or as a particular skill that I want to go for, or in my program, let's say it's a full body program, I can't do too many exercises. I need to dial down and pick which exercises give me the most bang for my buck, which ones are going to get me to my goal faster, and it's going to be a good movement to learn. So for instance, instead of you picking 3 or 4 different back exercises, you could pretty much get away with either, if you're being ultra minimalist, focusing on just the pull-up. And the pull-up is a fantastic exercise. It hits virtually the whole entire back. Yes, it's a little bit more lat dominant and you don't get as much work on the mid back if you were to say add in. And another one I would recommend if you were going to pick 2 would be the inverted row. But there is a way in which you can make the pull-up sort of like a hybrid, where you pull so far and you even pull the chest to bar, or you kind of tilt your body back a little bit, and you end up getting sort of more of a, instead of it being up and down, you're kind of getting a sort of a motion, an arcing motion, so you can actually get a bit more of your back in there. If you really wanted to dial down and just focus on one, you could. Where if you were doing a different sort of program where you're going to be focusing on doing, say, pull-ups, then chin-ups, and you want to do a neutral grip, okay, then you want to do inverted rows, and you're going to be doing different versions of the inverted rows, then you want to do rear flies, then you're going to do sort of like band stuff. Like if you're doing so many different exercises, it's a lot of fluff and puff that you might get a sort of a theory of diminishing return. So the more stuff that you actually do isn't really going to benefit you that much, but it has the impact of reducing your recovery and actually reducing your performance in any of the exercises that follow. So you've got to think, okay, how can I get the most bang for the buck? How can I, all of my time and my energy can I put in that's going to allow me to get the most out of my workout? So what you want to focus on is, if you were to do 1 exercise or even 2 exercises per body part or a movement plane, think about how much energy you can focus into just those 2 exercises than if you were to try and spread out your energy mentally and physically and span it over 4 or 5 exercises. Then you've got to think about the set, the reps, and all of that extra work that's going to add up when you don't need to do it. These 2 exercises, the pull-up and maybe the inverted row, are all you're going to need for, say, your back work. Whether it was a pushing thing, it might be, say, either a push-up or a dip, and then you might add in a handstand push-up. If it was for the legs, you could probably get away with something like squats or even bridging. So that's the main point. A very, very key point is it makes your program very streamlined and very, very focused. You get to get rid of a lot of the useless exercises, and you get to keep and focus down on the key exercises. And I'm not saying isolation work is useless, but for the majority of people, you will get so much more benefits and you will get faster results if you focus on key compound exercises. And if muscular imbalances come up in later on, or you have injuries or other things that are going on, use isolation work or a little bit of extra work to deal with those when you need to. Okay, so that's a key thing I want you to be aware of. So the next point we're going to talk about is it makes your workouts quicker but more efficient. So this is very, very common. Okay, if you're doing like a typical even a full body or upper body or body part split, the need for having to do loads of different exercises or hit the body from loads of different angles, you've got to think the more exercises you're doing, your time to work out is going to take longer. But if you were to go in and do a workout where you were just going to focus on, say, pull-ups, dips, and maybe squats or lunges, you've only got 3 exercises. If you're going to do, say, 3 sets of 10, or you're going to be doing, say, 5x5 on each exercise, your workout is going to be very, very streamlined. It's going to be a lot quicker. Okay, and because of that, your workout's going to be a lot more efficient when it comes to your time and when it comes to your energy. If you only have to focus on 1 or 2 exercises per body part, your energy that is going to have to be dialed down just into those is going to be a lot more efficient, and you're going to be able to channel your energy, your strength, your endurance into them a lot better than if you're going to try and spread out over more exercises, and that will then be over a longer time. So by doing a more minimalist sort of style of training, your workouts are going to be quicker and your workouts are going to be more efficient. So that is a key thing that you want to take on. So the next point we're going to be talking about is you will be doing less volume, so therefore you will have better recovery, which then could lead on to you being able to work out more often. So again, if you're going to be going in and thinking, right, I'm just going to be doing pull-ups, say dips and squats, okay, you could do 8 sets. It's unlikely, because if you're working hard and you're working to a high intensity, you're not going to be able to keep up that momentum for 8 sets unless you're really trying to stretch it out. But then what is the point in doing that? You're typically maybe going to do 2, 3, 4, 5 sets max if you're doing sort of a 5x5, but it's rare. You'd normally do 2 or 3 sets and then you're going to move on. Okay, so if you're doing less volume, your recovery isn't going to be as high. So basically, if you're only going to be doing a workout, say pull-ups, dips, squats, and you're doing 3 sets of each, you're only going to have to recover from 9 sets. Where if you were doing a workout where you had like 2 or 3, 4 different exercises per body part, and you were racking that all up, you've got to think how much your volume is going to go up per session, and because of that, your body has to then recover from a high amount of work. Or if the intensity is there and you're working out over more exercises and you're doing more exercises while you're going to fatigue, again, that's going to hit your central nervous system. It's going to make it harder for you to recover. That then leads on to either sort of like under resting, or some people will say overtraining. That can then make it so you're not able to work out as often. If you're only working out once or twice a week, if you were to compare that to maybe 3 or 4 times a week, you're getting double the amount of work. That means that you're able to pick up moves faster. It means you're able to build muscle faster, and again, learning particular exercise is going to be more efficient because you're doing things more often. So by doing less volume, your recovery is going to be better, which then allows you to work out more often. So if you take on a more minimalist sort of style of training, that allows you to do that, which is going to have so many benefits to your overall training, and it's going to make your time more efficient, and you're going to get to your goals a lot faster. So the next thing I'm going to be talking about is it fits your lifestyle a lot easier. So thinking about it, especially if you're someone who is works a lot, you've got children or different things out, especially as you get older, your time becomes a little bit more precious. You can't always dedicate an hour, 2 hours, an hour and a half to working out, where sometimes you might only have 10-15 minutes, half an hour max. So you need to be able to try and make your sessions, be able to get everything in and get it done properly. Minimalist sort of style of training is going to fit into people's lifestyle a lot easier, because just like the name says, it's very minimalist. You could go in and, let's say you were doing an upper body session, you could go in and probably just do supersets, however your thing is, and just do pull-ups and dips, or pull-ups and push-ups. You could literally just do them, focus hard on those 2 exercises, have a good level of intensity, maybe getting a good amount of volume to stimulate that growth, and you could just deal with just those 2 and you could be done. You could probably do a workout in 5-10 minutes. There is that thing where you could try and get as many reps as you possibly can in 3 minutes, and your workout's done. Again, pull-ups, push-ups, squats, CrossFit Cindy workout that I did yesterday, it was only 20 minutes long, 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, 15 squats, did 20 minutes, I was done. cardio done, muscles done, everything was done. Very minimalist sort of style. So that is fantastic. The other thing as well is if you have more of a minimalist sort of style of training, that obviously makes it easier that you're going to have less equipment. You're not going to be doing loads of different exercises where you need loads of different equipment to fit in to be able to do things. So again, it saves time and it saves money for that. So the last point I'm going to be talking about is if you do a more minimalist sort of style of training, it makes the actual learning curve or the amount of exercise that you've got to take time to learn a lot easier. Instead of you trying to learn loads of different exercises per body group, and let's say it's racking up to 5, 10, 15 different exercises that you're trying to learn, and not just learn like how to do the form properly, but it takes time for your central nervous system to learn how to do exercises efficiently, to turn muscles on at the right time, different things like that. The more exercises that you're doing, it takes longer to learn. It dilutes your ability to be able to get efficient and get good at something. If you are going to pick more of a minimalist sort of style of training, it makes how many exercises you've got to learn a lot less. So that means you can dedicate more time to them and learn them and get proficient at them a lot faster. If you're going to dedicate time to just learning the pull-up and the row, the push-up and maybe a handstand, a squat and a lunge, you've got 6 exercises, let's say, you could dial down and focus on, you're going to learn them a lot faster than trying to learn different styles of lunges, different styles of squats, then moving on to say parametric work. Let's say you're learning how to do the different styles of pull-ups, then different styles of inverted rows, then let's say you're going to be doing the flies, the Y press, all of these different things. You could easily find 5, 10 exercises per body part or movement plane that you could learn. It's just, especially if you're a beginner, it's a lot to take on at the beginning. So if you're going to take on a more minimalist sort of style training, it's a lot easier to learn, especially if you're a beginner, and it's a lot easier to dial down. So the thing that I was going to be talking about that I mentioned at the start was I'm going to be sort of giving you an idea of what my minimalist sort of style of training is and what exercises that I would focus on if you're thinking, okay, I like the sound of this looks like it'll be a good way to sort of train, but I wouldn't know what things I should focus on. So obviously I would say if you're going to go down to bare minimalist, you could get away with a pull-up, a dip, and I would probably say a squat or a lunge. If you've got access to a weighted vest and you've got a good amount of weight, or let's say you're in a position where you get access to a squat bar, so you can really make it intense, and I would say go for a squat, and you could focus down on them and get very proficient at them. You're good to go. And that would be very minimalist. You could even get to the point where if you kept the volume down low and you controlled the intensity, you could do something like that every single day and you could get pretty fit and you could get pretty strong. If you want something a little bit more than that, especially if you've come from somewhere where you're doing multiple exercises of multiple volume and you're one of those people that think, well, I don't feel like I've done a workout unless I've really smashed myself, or I've done loads of different exercises, and you like doing that. I don't feel like you need to do more than 2 per body part, or I like to think of them as movement planes. So for instance, the thing that I'm doing at the minute is for my pulling, I would do a vertical pull, which is a pull-up, and I do a horizontal pull, which is obviously going to be my horizontal inverted row. You can do that on rings or you can do it on the bar. I think it's better on the rings. If it comes to the pushing, again, a horizontal and a vertical, so you can either do a push-up and let's say a handstand push-up, or you could do a dip. A dip, you could say, is a sort of inverted, you're pushing down. Some people will see that the push-up and the dip are very similar, so they might prefer doing either one of those with the handstand, and even if they just do the handstand for learning to hold the handstand, that's still good shoulder work and it's still going to build good stability within the shoulders. But I do think a handstand push-up version, whether you're doing the push-ups or just the balance, is a good thing to add. And when it comes to the legs, I think you won't go wrong with either doing, saying, a squat or a lunge, and then maybe some bridge work. You really want to get in some work where you're really hitting the posterior chain. Bridging is very good for hitting the hamstrings, the glutes and the lower back, and there's loads of different variations. You can go through that, and a lunge and a squat are very similar. The movement is very similar. I do find, unless you've got weight, an actual barbell, or let's say a weighted vest, you're probably going to be able to get more of an effective workout by working on unilateral work, so one leg at a time. Lunges, whether it's sort of a pistol squat, whether it's a shrimp squat, where maybe it's even sitting on a box and sort of doing that elevated sort of pistol squat style if you haven't got the mobility to be able to do it, or just holding on to something while you try and come down. That is really going to hit the whole entire leg with a little bit of bridging. Lunges are fantastic, and obviously if you want to add in a little bit of direct calf work because you don't like your calves, they're not as big or whatever it is, and you want to add in a little bit of that, you could add in a little bit of carbs with your leg training, and that's okay. So that would be like a basic sort of style of program. Another thing that you could do to try and get reference to sort of a minimalist sort of style training is what you'll get in convict conditioning. And with the great thing about that though is it's got progressions for every single exercise, so you can get good at every single one of them and take each one at a different step depending on what your skill, strength, fitness level is. So that's a good resource you can use. So that would be what I would go for. Let me know what you think down below. Are you a fan of minimalist style? What brought you to this video? Have you done it before? Are you looking to get into it? If you have any questions, please comment down below. That is it for today. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you loved it, consider subscribing. Make sure you share this video that who you think it would interest or it might help them within their training. And I will see you in the next video.